Welcome, my name is Ian Rotherham, and this is the second part of two presentations on the magic, mythology, and mysteries of Christmas, the wild side of Christmas. What we celebrate today is a real mix of different pagan and Christian beliefs melded together culturally across originally a large swathe of Europe, and particularly northwestern Europe, with its origins very much in the darkness of the winter in the northern hemisphere. And it brings together all sorts of different imagery of the mistletoe man with the white berry and the holly man with the red berry. And we've talked already about how some of these things are strongly pagan origin, and others are morphed into a Christian ceremony. I'm not sure of the expression on the face of the holly man there. He looks a little bit untrustworthy. I don't think I'd trust him very far. And of course, winter is also a time of break away from work. In the spring, the summer, the autumn, we go through the agricultural cycles. But in winter, in the depths of winter, really it's to do with surviving through the darkness and staying warm, staying fed, staying alive, and then maybe having space to play. And also today putting ourselves in the situation of having regular and deep snow. This sort of scene is something that we do not see every winter now. So things have changed, and things are changing with environmental change, but this is perhaps not the place to consider the issues of that. But the seasonal cycles are hugely important to early peoples. Celtic mythology had stories of the Oak King and the Holly King. The oak represented the time from the winter solstice to the summer solstice, and the holly the time from the summer solstice to the winter solstice. In the first, the Oak King does battle with the Holly King for domination, and as spring comes upon us, as it will surely do within the next few months, then the Oak King comes to predominate. But then, having done battle in the summer solstice, the Holly King takes precedence, and the darkness falls on the land once again. And this is celebrated even today with various ceremonies. It's marked in things like pub signs, the green man and French horn, and there are images of holly men and ceremonies and ways of marking the Christian year, but deeply embedded in pagan beliefs. Green men, holly men, oak men. And I don't envy the lady there. She's got the mistletoe, which is quite encouraging, but that holly dress must be absolutely horrendous to wear. I just can't imagine what that would be like. But the whole issue of going out gathering greenery, what we're doing traditionally is trying to hold on to something that is living, something that is green, bringing it into the homes, into the houses, into the cottages, and even into the churches. It's an attempt to keep something of the life spirit through the darkness of the northern winter. And then we get these mixed images of pagan symbolism and Christian symbolism, and all wrapped in a mix of the darkness and the light, the winter and the spring. And again, the head shrouded in leaves, the holly and the berries. And on the one hand, this is a jovial, kindly Santa Claus, a Father Christmas. On the other hand, we can see the head of Christ with the specks of blood and the crown of thorns. So there's all sorts of different images and symbolism. The child there wearing the shoes to get around in the North American cold winter. We know it's North America because she's bearing not a red squirrel, but a grey squirrel. So we have a North American image, probably North American ilex, holly. And they're very much something which looks like the crown of thorns, but a very benevolent looking Father Christmas. And on the other hand, I like the image of the man, the drunken man on his way home, perhaps from the tavern, with a snowman. The snowman's got a pipe, and we've got the wreath of holly with the red berries, and we've also got the mistletoe. I think in his present state, he's going to be lucky to benefit from the mistletoe. And actually going out into the forest, into the landscape, into the woods, into the countryside to gather these materials was a very important part of social activity. Or somebody might come around selling you holly and mistletoe. And a lovely little Dutch painting of two little children, one carrying the holly, one carrying the mistletoe, hand in hand. A very Dutch sort of image. And this might be Christmas, it might be New Year. Now again, we've talked about the Celts, we've talked about the Romans, the Druid beliefs about mistletoe, hugely important, hugely influential. Mistletoe was revered as a sacred plant by the Celts, the Norse, and even the Native Americans. The Druids believed that mistletoe protected from thunder and lightning. Priests used a golden sickle to cut mistletoe from an oak tree, often in a sacred grove, and it was caught before falling to the floor. The sacred mistletoe was then cut into small pieces and distributed amongst the onlookers. And the evergreen mistletoe has the essence of life, and that will take you through the winter time. Mistletoe was a Druidic symbol of joy and peace. Enemies meeting under a woodland mistletoe were obliged to lay down weapons and hold a truce until the next day. And from this we have the origin of hanging mistletoe from the ceiling and kissing beneath it, a symbol of peace and goodwill. And here we have the Druids cutting the mistletoe from the tree and it dropping downwards, but being caught before it hits the ground. It was important that this is a green plant that grows apart from the earth. It's otherworldly. And there we have the salesman in Victorian England selling mistletoe or holly, street vendors. I love the name of the house there, Myrtle Lodge. That's quite nice as well. And of course, mistletoe was also linked to the Nordic myths. The god of mischief, Loki, managed to kill Baldur, one of the other gods, who was immune from being killed by anything growing on the earth. But Loki managed to fashion a dart out of mistletoe, which of course doesn't grow on the earth, it's disconnected from the earth. And so Baldur was able to be killed as a prank. So here we have the sort of imagery. It's this, again, the snow scene, the hint of the old trees and the deep forest, and then a rather nicer dress for the young lady there. Rather than the holly, mistletoe is possibly slightly preferable. It's certainly not prickly, so that's an improvement on things. And we get slightly more risque imagery from France, for example, and the mistletoe sellers. So what we're seeing really is a whole mixture of different symbolism, of things that suggest magic, little elves, magic mushrooms, and the issue of a sweep bringing you good luck. So a sweep with a ladder. And then we have our own traditions of carrying coal and first footing, and all these things morphing together. And some of them, you've got a whole lot. You've got a pig, which was a symbol of good luck. You've got the little, I think it's meant to be a four-leaf clover of some sort, but the flowers are nothing clover-like. But you've got a very benign little chimney sweep in black, sat on a magic mushroom, and then the other one that was with a shamrock in his head, a horseshoe, a sweep's brush, a ladder, and a whole set of pigs. And these all are symbols of good luck. I'm not sure what he's going to do. He's on a very snowy, slippy roof with a ladder, with a bottle of what looks like fizzy plonk. So I think he's going to come to grief. I'm not sure that this is good luck. He's also wearing what appear to be slippers whilst going up that ladder. I think if you pardon the pun, the health and safety man will have a field day with this. And then the other one, he appears to be about to drop a magic mushroom down someone's chimney stack. So I'm not quite sure what that's all about. And then again, the Christmas wishbone, of course, from the turkey. Now I have to say that is one heck of a turkey. That is a good bird, even by my standards. I would be quite impressed with that. But you can see there how closely the Santa Claus figure now looks to one of those little elves or pixies or fairies. And we get the whole business of ceremony, fertility, and everything else, all happening in the depths of winter. And this really comes to a peak, I think, with the Victorian imagery in those really dark winter times. Also with societies that were much more stable and more closely knit than we are today. And people would go and sing carols, and people would parade around the village and sing carols, and people would sing in pubs and other places. And Sheffield, for example, has a fine tradition of people singing locally traditional carols around Stannington and those areas. But again, the carols have origins as pagan songs sung at celebrations surrounding the winter solstice festival. So many of these images are things which go back centuries or thousands of years deep into our culture, deep into our psyche. And they're, again, mixed sort of images, four-leaf clover on a toboggan run, snowballs, a very peculiar snowman dancing with a young lady there, the monocle and the look on his face. I think he's a very dodgy character. He's also got a little pig attached to what appears to be a sprig maybe of mistletoe on his side. So that's a Merry Christmas. The other one is a Happy New Year. So just a final thought for you as we celebrate Christmas and we celebrate the mysteries, the magic, the mythology of Christmas. Christmas at the Manor, and there we are, the Lord of the Manor, waiting for the reindeer to arrive. I do like that one. And that perhaps symbolizes a lot of what we think about Christmas. It's about friendship, companionship. It's about love. It's about caring. And the opposites of the mistletoe and the holly merge together. So that's the end. Thank you for watching. And a merry Yule. Here's a hand, my trusty friend. Wishing you a cool Yule and happy Hogmanay. All the best.